Hi and welcome back. So today's quick tip and common problem is on turn. So the most common problem and issue I see when coaching is that as people or players try and turn through, again this is more sort of normal golfers that will see, most elite players do something different, but the normal golfers they tend to turn a lot but they don't get any pressure shifting toward the target. So what tends to happen is this, where the feet look quite planted still, too much pressure on the back foot but they're turning toward the target. Now that will result in the upper body and lower body being in the wrong order, and you'll be moving from the upper body first, which will typically throw the club over the top, tends to cause slicing issues, or you then have to kind of lean back through the bottom to try and compensate for that. So again, like we said, people typically get to wherever they get at the top, they turn early with the upper body, gets the upper body in front of the lower body, the club comes over the top, then they either hit a big cut, or like I say, they have to back up, and that causes scooping, or maybe hit the ground early, catch the top of the ball. So, but often people are trying to do that because they know they don't turn through correctly, they don't move through the ball as well as they should. So they try and turn through more, and it actually makes the problem worse. So, what's the answer? So the answer is, there's lots of things to consider in terms of if the club's coming in too steep or too vertical, what your body angles are, but all things being equal and those bits not being too far out of place, then really what you're looking to do is the movement you're looking for the downswing generally should be lateral movement first. So the sequence of the golf swing, or the order of the forces, or the order that the forces are supposed to peak, are lateral, rotational, and then vertical. So basically what that means when you come down is that what you see with most of the best players and people who move well is the pressure banks onto the inside of this foot during the downswing. That allows the lower body to move laterally first. That helps the upper body stay more behind the lower body. That helps the club shallow. The more my upper body is behind my lower body, the more the club would drop on the inside. So for most golfers, again, there's always exceptions to the rule, but you're looking for pressure to shift onto the inside of this back foot. That'll move the body forward, like we say, the correct way, and help enable you to keep the correct arrangement between the top of the body and the lower body. That will help with delivery, and that will help with bringing the club back into the right spot, as you can see here. And again, that's what you typically see a good player's impact look like. So how do you maybe implement this? The way I get people to do it a lot is just by focusing on the end of the swing. So say the backswing's pretty good. So on the way through, I just get people to kind of pose the finish where the pressure's banked on the inside of the foot like this. That guarantees you must have done it a reasonable amount, or roughly about the right amount throughout the swing. And then once you've posed a few like this, you could perhaps just finish it off by letting the right side come round a bit more. Or you could use something kind of like this, which is a force pedal. You could use some foam, or maybe a half a tennis ball. This is a form of resistance training. It pushes your foot the opposite way you want to go. So you've got to recruit muscles and figure out how to actually do the opposite. So you bank your foot very slightly against it, and then on the way down, you're actually trying to bank more against this, coming into strike through the bottom. And they're actually really effective because your brain reacts to that kind of almost subconsciously without having to think about it too much. So quick insight on turn and pressure. Again, there's always more to it, but I hope this helps, and hope it helps you shoot some lower scores.